Alrighty, so this has been about probably 30-40 years since this has, we'll say, been complete. Close to complete, anyway. But anyway, this is what we have so far. Not perfect, but she has a door again. Gotta line it up, do a little bit more tweaking on her there, but I'll have it. And had to mess with the hinges a little bit. Had a little bit of time with that. I ended up drilling out the this thing has the screws on the hinges that hold them in there. So I had to go through and I was thinking about taking the grinder and grinding the heads off and going that route, but I ended up just drilling them out. Started with a small drill bit and just worked my way up. But yeah, it's got them big Phillips head screws. See, that one down there is pretty rough. Of course, this is the passenger side, so I'm not really worried about it yet. But anyway, so we were able to save our upper hinge on that side over there. I was able to save that. And the lower one, of course, obviously was broken, so I had to replace. And the one that's on there now, I think we're going to take and go in there and grind that pin off and knock it out and see if I can find another pin. And I think we're going to reuse the actual shell of it and just use the lower hinge out of this that actually came with this door, because the bracket that holds this hinge there is a little bit rough, so I think we'll just use this off our door that come with it, and then we'll just reuse our original there. That's what I'm thinking about doing. But anyway, it is mocked up. It's definitely it's not lined up for sure. It's not even closed all the way, but it's definitely on there. And the glass is in the door, of course. I just rolled the window down, same as this one. But yeah, tickled death about that. Took a long time. Well, that was a long wait. I bought that door back in around Thanksgiving, and took a long time. Kind of a clown act. I mean, took forever. I mean, to get it, because I'd paid the money and all that. And anyway, long story short, I finally got it, but I had to wait and wait and wait, and thank God it's back on there. But so now here we are, May of 2022 here, and so now we got the door back on. I tell you what, that actually, man, it makes this car look complete. We gotta, like I said, we gotta do a little tweaking here and get it lined up. It's not, closed all the way, but it is bolted up. But we gotta take this door and bring it back a little bit, and bring the front of the up just a little, and I gotta get all the bugs worked out of it. But we can't really go by this fender, honestly, because this fender is honestly just sitting on the car right now. So I gotta go through and we're just gonna roughen this door, just get where it opens and closes. We're not worried about it shutting yet and latching. If it does, awesome. I mean, I want it to, but right now I just want to focus on getting it lined up as close as I can, and we'll just go from there. We'll worry about the latch and all that mechanism and all that stuff later on. I actually got all the other 3 doors there. Everything's freed up on them. The windows go up and down. The big glass works on the passenger side door. The doors open and shut. The locks are free, and it's all that's free up. So I got to free up everything on this door, and just kind of take your time with it, because it's been sitting for a while. This door is actually off of Bel Air because it's got different trim on it versus that trim right there. So I got to find that trim for this for the driver's side door. I think they're reversible. I think you can put them on the driver's side or the passenger side. I don't think it really matters from looking at it. Yeah, I think you can reverse them either way. I don't think it matters. You should be able to flip that. But yeah, I got to find this piece of trim here for the driver's side. I actually like that trim better. I think it looks cool. But I think I'm going to end up taking eventually. I might, this is up in the air. You know, I'm not 100% sure yet. But I might end up taking the Cobra tires that are on my Edsel off. And because we're going to be doing a disc brake upgrade on that car anyway. And I was thinking about buying a set of 15x7 steel wheels. And I haven't really decided. I think we're just going to get a set of torque thrust wheels and put on that Edsel, and then of course we'll save the original wheels. But long story short, I think about taking the Cobra tires, and I'll have to find a set of 14s for this car, and because the original wheels are just shot. I still have them, but they're just rot to the point where I wouldn't even. It's just a waste of time even trying to save them, because there's no way, they're rot to pieces. But anyway, if I can find a set of wheels, I think I'll take them Cobra tires because they got good tread. The front tires on that Edsel were a little bit worn on the inside, but the whole front suspension was wore out. But I might pass them tires onto this car and find a set of wheels, and that way we'll have all that taken care of. But the wheels that are on it now, they're not meant for this car at all. I mean, they bulked up, but they're definitely not correct for it. I wouldn't even run them because some of the holes are wallowed out and everything. They're just to move the car around, that's it. And I do have all the front suspension. Well, let me rephrase that. I got all the steering parts to get this car to steer correctly. I got from the steering rail all the way down. I think I mentioned that before. The drag length, the tie rods, all that stuff. So I don't have the ball joints or the bushings or any of that right now, which I'm not really too concerned about it, but anyway, and this is official. We're definitely going to go a different direction. I was making all them videos, I mentioned it before, about taking the 305, and we were going to make it into a 283 and put 283 valve covers and all that on it, and do something kind of fun with it. But we're not going to do that. We're going to go a little bit slightly different direction. I got a TBI 350. It's a 94, and it's a factory roller block. But it actually came with a flat tappet cam. But it's set up for a roller. And I'm going to we'll take the short block. We're just going to freshen it up, check everything. And I got a set of nice double hump heads. And somebody's went through them one time or another. Somebody's done put, I don't know if they put guides in it. I think they did. But they put all new exhaust seats in it. So I'm sure they got hardened seats. Because I know all of them have been replaced, I can tell. But anyway, I think we're going to go that direction through at 94 TBI in this thing. And of course, it won't have none of that TBI stuff. We're going to put a carburetor on it, and just a lot of spare parts I got that we're just going to throw it together and just go that route. We're going to put double hump heads on it, and I'm going to see if I can find a factory roller cam and a set of factory roller lifters, and we're going to run that. And I already got the motor mounts and everything. I hadn't made a previous video about it. All that's set up and ready to go. Got the transmission mount. And then, of course, we're going to run a 3-speed in this car. So we're going to keep this car. Originally was a 3 on the tree, and we're going to keep it a 3 on the tree. And later on down the road, like I mentioned too, and if that 454 that I'm getting from my truck, if it's a 2-bolt main, then we're just going to directly take that 454 and throw it right in this. So this car can go 2 different ways, but the 305, that's not going to happen. It's just, it runs good and all, but it's still a turd, and it doesn't have torque, it runs better and all. It's the same as it was before. It runs smoother and everything, but it's just no power. And I really don't want to put a small, tiny little motor. It's like putting a 4-cylinder in, a big car like this. It's just not going to be enough to lug it around and all that. But anyway, yeah, we're not going to go that direction. I was going to take and do a bunch of crazy stuff, like shade the front of the heads and I'll do the valve covers and take the intake and all that. I was trying to make it a 283. I really was, but that's just not going to work out. But like I said, it runs good and all, but we're not going that direction. I got a good TBI we're going to throw in this thing, and so it's either going to get a 350 a TBI motor with the double hump heads, and we're gonna make it a, look like a 327. But I'm being a little too picky on it, so we're just gonna. It ain't gotta be, I was trying to make it a period correct car, even though this car was not a V8 car anyway originally. But I was trying to take it 305 and make it look like a 283, like it come that way from the factory. But it's just, like I said, it's not gonna happen. So I think we're just gonna take it 350 and put double hump heads on it and throw a roller cam in it, just so it has a little something. And, just make it nice. You ain't got to worry about the zinc in the oil. You ain't got to worry about the, unleaded gas issue and, throwing away money on lead additives and all that stuff. So, you can just run regular old off-the-shelf oil and, just be like a modern motor pretty much. And that's the route we'll probably go. And if at 454, like I said, if it's a 2-bolt main, then I will directly put that motor in this car, because if it's a 2-bolt main, it is not going in my truck. Because my mind is set. That's what I want. What I want is what I want, and it's going to be a, 454 4-bolt main. I'm not going to put it in the truck. I mean, nothing wrong with the 2-bolt main, but that's, it's what I want. But anyway, so that'd be kind of cool. I'd like to eventually, if 454 is, what I want and all that, I'd like to eventually, I got a 402 I'd like to clean up and throw in this thing. That'd be kind of cool to have a big block in this car and a 3 on the tree. I think that'd be awesome. But for what I'm doing, I mean, it'll have a Saginaw 3-speed. It's, I'm not going to be, I don't really get on stuff. I really don't. I mean, every now and then, but I'm not hard on stuff. So it's not like you're going to worry about breaking it or anything. And, and it's not like I'm driving it every day and all that stuff. So it's nothing wrong with Saginaws at all. It's not. But in fact, I think now, from what I heard, you can actually buy better gears that are made from better material that, are pretty much just as good as a regular Muncie. It's like a poor man's Muncie, basically. But I mean, you got a cast iron case, but it is what it is. So this video is kind of dragging a little bit, but yeah, I wanted to show that because it's been at least 30 to 40 years, every bit of it. I think this car, I think I mentioned it before, it's been sitting since 76. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'll have to double check and look at the paperwork. But it's been since the mid to late 70s. And this car originally supposedly came from a junkyard, but I don't really know if I believe that or not. But anyway, if you want to know more about that, I think the real story is the guy I got it off of. I think it was his mother's car, and then she passed away, and he held on to it for a long, long time for sentimental value, basically. And I think, it ended up going to a junkyard, and eventually he ended up buying it back, and then just never did nothing with it and turned it into a parts car. And eventually, pulled parts off of it. The steering column and all that is over in a 59 El Camino he has. But that's what I think. That's the real story, I think. But, because I've known about this car since 2004. But, anyway, I know the video's getting dark here, but I'm really tickled about that. Hopefully you can see that. But that looks nice. It makes the car look complete now. It really looks good. I wish I could find the correct trim for it. We'll have to do something about that. And no, it did not have a mirror on it. It's actually missing on it. I bought it that way, so that's nothing to worry about. But I'm going to go through and this door, it's not on permanent. I got to go through. I'm going to pull it off again. I got to take and get the 2 bolts down here at this lower hinge. I'll have to drill them out and see if I can get them out. I tried to weld a nut on the end of them to get them out that way without messing, anything up, but there was just no way. So I ended up having to take a grinder, ground the heads off, ended up drilling them out, and ended up going through all that, but finally got it off. This is the original here. Hopefully you can see it where it's broke. It's been broke like I said, since I've known about since 04, so that's been broke for a long time. I don't know how that would have happened really, but But anyway, this outer case here, I guess you would call it, hardware, whatever, is in much better shape. It's not pitted all up and everything else. And I think we're going to end up just going in here and just knocking this pin out, or either I'll grind the heads off of it, but we'll knock that pin out and just pull this piece that's actually broken off, and then just swap it out from the good hinge and just put it over in this one and clean it up and just do that. But I think I'd rather go that route, because the outer case, hardware, whatever you want to call it, it's pretty pitted. I mean, it's not weak or nothing structurally, but you know, this one's better, and that was the original. And it's kind of crazy because it's been out in the weather and rain and snow and everything else, and it's actually better. But anyway, so that's probably what we'll do. We'll probably take 2 lower door hinges, piece them together to make one good one. Our upper is perfectly fine. The original on the cars, just nothing wrong with it. But anyway, and like I said, the glass is there. It's just rolled down. It's cracked, unfortunately. That happened during the shipping. So that kind of, you know, that's kind of a downer there, unfortunately. But so I had to get glass for it. But oh well. But anyway, if anybody out there has that trim like I'm talking about, so I can get the correct trim for it, let me know. And like I said, this is just a rat rock car. This is never going to be a show car, by no means. Like I said, the only car I will do a frame off on, in my opinion, that's truly worth doing it, is my Etzel. And that's pretty much it. But anyway, hope y'all can see here. Man, I'm sorry the video is kind of dark, but I'm just tickled about that. Anyway, hope y'all liked the video. Look at that, 30, 40 years, it's got a door again. Just think, sometime or another, this car was in a salvage yard. Somebody took the door off. And now here we are 34 years later. This car got saved. And it's got a door back on it. This car got really lucky, though. It was really lucky because there wasn't a lot of parts missing off of it until I tried to get this car back in 2016. And this car was, I mean, it was probably about, I'd say about, before the dash and all that stuff, where he did all that mess, it was about 90% there. I mean, minus the motor and transmission, but it's very complete. But you know, shame about the dash and the windshield getting busted and the door and all that. But this car is, I mean, it's very complete. But I wish that windshield was perfect too. Man, I wish I would have got this car back in 2016 like I wanted. But it worked out good, because in 2016 he wanted $600, and in 2021 only gave $300 for this whole car. That was it. Anyway, thanks for watching. Sorry about the video quality, but thank you for watching. Drop a comment below.